Hello guys, my name is Milton Munyarazi. Well, I'm doing this video to inform you that we are launching a TV channel that's called Zimbabwe TV. It's an online thing. This channel mainly focuses on Zimbabwe content, be it social, be it economic, be it political, as long as it pushes the Zimbabwean vision. Our main goal is to fill in the gaps, to inform the public about what's happening in Zimbabwe, what's happening around us, political issues, economic issues, social issues, anything we can talk about, as long as it's happening in Zimbabwe. We want to fill the gap that's being left by probably our mainstream media or probably the newspapers and stuff like that. So we're here to inform you. We're here to tell a story about Zimbabweans. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. So please like our pages. The details are below, right here on the screen. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Mtongiza, and this is the first edition of the brand new show, My Zim, My Vision, and it targets the rebirth of New Zimbabwe in 2018. And today I'm joined by Zvikomborero, who is the former Secretary General of ZINASU, that is the Zimbabwe National Students Union. Say, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So, as you know, ZINASU is one of the dominant and powerful students' movement organization here in Zimbabwe, and it has bred and nurtured a lot of political people that we all know, like the leader of MDCT Alliance Party, that is Nelson Chamisa. I'm also talking about Tindai PT and also Lane Monjongwe. So tell us, what is the current state of affairs in the movement?
Yeah, everything is fine. We just did a congress in December.
All right.
So when I left power, so maybe just a few months of transition for the new leadership to acclimatize with the situation. Otherwise, everything's well, because most of the things we fought for, things to do with loans, are now being realized under the current ZINASU administration.
All right.
Yeah, things to do with the attachment fees falling are also now being realized. So I think there has been a proper and smooth transition in continuing.
All right, okay. So can you tell us more? What do you think about the fact that students' activism is dead here in Zimbabwe? Now the idea is people going to dining rooms, having lunch, enjoying. What do you have to say about students' activism in schools? Student
activism is never dead. It has just reached certain levels. I always tell people who want to compare the radical fitness for demonstrations in South Africa, we compare it with the way now the Zimbabwean students are now advocating also for their rights. And I always tell them that no, the level that the South African students are realizing now, we realized it at least a decade ago. We reached those peaks, and unfortunately the government, the state, developed teeth. It started arresting people, brutalizing students, brought in draconian rules and laws like the ordinance state. You can be suspended from school whether correct or not even proven that you've committed any crime, of which it's not happening in South Africa. In South Africa, there's a strong and independent judiciary system. So the rights of the students, activists, they are more guaranteed. So yeah, I wouldn't say student activism is dead, but these are new strategies meant to survive within the harsh political conditions that we face as a consequence of practicing our freedom of expression. Okay.
So can you tell us, as ZINASU, what do you represent? Like, what's your ideology in terms of students and your representation?
To put it, I think simple, the vision of ZINASU is to achieve an inclusive and democratic Zimbabwe, where students' issues and concerns are yet and addressed. First and foremost, it's about the students. It's about enjoyment of our academic freedoms. It's about access to education for all. It's about employment opportunities after people graduate. So it's where ZINASU comes from. Then the political side, we don't survive in a vacuum. Most of these problems, because if you remember the biggest opposition, or the biggest party in Zimbabwe, which is the opposition, the MDCT, it was co-formed also by ZINASU. It's a realization that most of the problems we are facing, they are not confined within the radius of the campuses. But these are issues to do with policy formulation in parliament. These are issues to do with how the chancellor perceives and appreciates the need to develop and also contribute in terms of finances towards education. So that's when the students of Zimbabwe back then, it was under the leadership of Lane Monjongwe and Nelson Chamisa, Job Sikala, it was that cream, who were in ZINASU, then united with other forces, the labor, civil society, churches, etc. And they said, no, we need to also have a voice. because our struggles, they are not in isolation from the national socio-economic and political question.
Yes. All right. So I understand ZINASU is sort of entwined within a certain political party, unlike ZIKOSO. So what do you have to say? What's your relationship between your organization and the current government?
ZINASU, in principle, is very independent. But however, because of its history of forming a political movement, there is a umbilical cord which you cannot deny. Right. So then on ZANU-PF, it's not like ZINASU's values are against ZANU-PF, no, but they are against the culture and principles and activities of ZANU-PF.
Right.
When we say what,
so they're not against the party, but the principles as well as the culture of ZANU-PF.
Yeah.
All right.
Because, for example, when we say we need grants, it's ZANU-PF which removed the grants.
Okay.
When we demonstrate, it's the ZANU-PF government that we arrest students, that brutalize students. Across universities in the face of Zimbabwe, the likes of Flaming Chamber who were killed in demonstrations in the 90s. If you go to MSU, it's last year, students were beaten by soldiers on campus. It's a case of the ZANU-PF government failing to protect the students. You can't have military men just...
So you're saying against the brutality of the ZANU-PF government towards your organization?
Exactly.
All right. So can you tell us what is the disadvantage and advantage between having organizations that are supposed to support the welfare of students having to support certain political parties within a nation? For instance, in your case, ZINASU is for MDC. We have another organization that is for that party. What disadvantage and advantages do we have concerning that? Yeah,
the advantages and disadvantages are that the government, whether you have relations with an opposition party or don't have, as long as you speak truth to power, you become an automatic enemy of the government. So that is currently, I don't think it is really contributed to we can't really blame the ZINASU's relationship with MDC for the treatment that we get from the government. But however, we have things like need to engage the government. They are always hostile. That's why ZINASU is most of the times related to radical means like demonstrations, it's demanding audience. Then also with the opposition, we relate because with the advantage that we get is we manage to push some motions in parliament. If we need issues, there are issues, for example, Algerian students who were stranded, the government was not paying, was not servicing its obligation to sponsor the loans that it signed to agree with the students. They were staying in the streets, some of the females were now practicing prostitution, the young guys were now involved money. Yeah. So, but we managed to engage the parliamentarians like Nelson Chamisa and Jesma Chum. I'm sure Honorable Jesma Chum, it was this year, this I think in February. She did a very, very proper presentation in terms of the plight of those students, and it was debated and clear resolutions in favor of the students were made. So it's a win-win situation. Yeah, it's not like we have to play cat or white cat. As long as the cat kills mice.
Alright, okay. So can you tell me, with the new Zimbabwe 2018, new movement, restoration legacy, what do you say, is there going to be a chance for the youth in social, economic and political spheres here in Zimbabwe? So far,
it's unfortunate Robert Mugabe deprived generations of Zimbabweans an opportunity to inclusivity, an opportunity to proper socio-economic and political participation. So as such, you will find that people who belong to the past, they say a new dispensation. When we have the 80-year-old people, 75-year-old people in power, they say it's a new dispensation, but they are just but a minority of our population in terms of demographics. And it's not like ZANU-PF, they don't have youth in them, but they don't appreciate. We have someone like me, just Mayor Chachena is a youth. We have even some of their sympathizers like Timamuli, so they could have given them some critical ministries. But you find someone who's 10 and 70 years is Minister of Youth. So there's new dispensation, but the youth are not here today? Yeah, I think it's new for just a small cabal. Also, if someone is previously a soldier and is now in government, it's new for him. So it's just new for just, and for the general of Zimbabweans, we are still in real need of real change. Alright. So I understand you represent students in tertiary education as well, mostly. So concerning the large amounts of money that are needed in tertiary education, what do you have to say? Because once you pay thousands of money in tertiary, at the end of the day you don't have a job. What's your take on that? It's inhuman on the part of government. It's their duty to sponsor education. Because when I become a teacher, when I become a doctor, it's not like I will be a doctor to nurse my father and mother, but I will be a doctor who will be contributing to the strength of the national health system. When I'm a teacher, I will not be teaching my children or my parents who will send me to school. So the obligation of the government to sponsor education. So the government, by their mutual direction of duty in terms of honoring their duty to sponsor education, and then failure to provide employment after that, it shows that they are not concerned at all. The country is on autopilot. They are just buildings, famous universities, which are now waiting for willing buyer, willing seller in terms of education, which is not fair. Education should be on the basis of capacity.
Yes. Okay. So finally, to say, what do you have to say about the new idea whereby you get to a job and they say you need 10 years or 5 years experience for you to get that permanent job, and as the youth, you're coming from university and you don't even have even a month experience on the job?
It's impractical. It shows the issue that our government and those in critical spheres, even within the industry, within the commerce, even the business side, they're out of touch with what is happening in Zimbabwe. You demand 5 years experience in a country which, in terms of statistics, is retrenching people more than it is employing. How do you get to gain experience from retrenching people rather than employing people? So, yeah, it's impractical.
It's impractical.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. That was the former Secretary General of ZINASU. His name is Zvikomborero Haruzivi, and thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe. Every time we'll be getting more interviews from different people in the political and also any other sector of Zimbabwe. This is My Zoom, My Vision.